diving on into the next one here. Is this it, chat? Is this Vlad's time to shine? He is a champion that's been consistently... He's a champion that's been consistently underplayed. So he levels up when 6+ allies have survived damage. When he attacks, each attacking ally other than Vlad deals 1 to itself and 1 to the enemy nexus. His leveled mode is a 6/6 with regeneration, so he heals himself. And then he drains when all of your things attack. And the reason why we are attempting to try Vlad is the Bilgewater theme from this most recent card drop is things like Crusty Codger, Boxtopus, Fortune Croaker, Lounging Lizard. These are all things that deal damage to themselves. So these allow Vlad to level up as you're just playing cards that do things that you want them to be doing. Anyways, all of these cards that damage themselves also pair nicely with Swain. So Swain is just levels if you've dealt 12 non-combat damage. So all of your things that are hurting themselves when they come into play count as dealing non-combat damage. So remember, the way deck building works in Runeterra, you can combine any 2 regions. So even though both of our champions are noxious, we're able to play a bunch of Bilgewater cards as our second faction. So let's go ahead and dive on into some games with this aggressive mid-range deck and see how it goes. See if this is maybe Vlad's time to shine, or perhaps he still needs a little bit of a buff in the future. Hey, thanks for continuing to drop off that Prime support, admin. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for coming around. Yes, Hoogland stands for the Highlands in Dutch, I believe. But I am very American. I have Dutch ancestors from somewhere, but my family has been stateside for several generations. I think we're mulliganing these two, looking just for other cheap units to play to the board. Opponent's playing Jinx Draven, which is an aggro deck. The largest percentage of anything that I am in terms of ethnicity is Italian. My grandfather on my mother's side was 100% Italian, but my other 3 grandparents were varying mixes of things already, so like, I don't really consider myself anything other than American. Unbench the Gench! Thanks for the 49 months, Tron. I appreciate it. Welcome back.
Delicious.
Are we opening on attacks?
Me too, kiddo. Me too.
Remember the objectives. A few for the many.
49 months is a long time. Tron is one of the OGs here.
Your path ends here.
Have a number of people that are 4 to 6 years at this point. Been here a while, 4 to 5 years. Vision. Ooh, I don't know that we're beating Vision here.
Look what you. Oh, this hurts.
Yeah, this job that I do is definitely a little bit strange in a lot of ways, to say the least, Extreme Otter. If you would have told me during college that playing games was more likely to end up as my job than doing software development that I'd been doing as a hobbyist thing as well, I probably wouldn't have believed you, but I'm happy to be here. For people who aren't familiar with my background, if you're new to the channel, I have a master's degree in mathematics. I spent some time teaching at some various colleges and universities, had an education minor during my undergrad. I have a GitHub page full of open source projects that are things that I worked on at various points during grad school and undergrad. I don't really currently maintain any software stuff, anymore, but I like to poke at projects on occasion still. Creating software is something very satisfying on average, I think. Feels good to build something. Read. I think we're gonna die to Draven shit. They're gonna have pretty good open on attacks next turn. They get to crack us for 6 here, down to 3. Yeah, that. what Jin said. I have 3 children under the age of 7. Yeah, opponent's curve was really strong there. Was that a turn 5 kill? I think it was, actually, right? I mean, aggro decks, not only are they good when they have a good curve, but aggressive decks in general are just good or extra good early in formats while people are fumbling around trying to figure out the details of their decks, right? Like, beating an unoptimized mid-ranger control deck is easier than beating an optimized one. Zed Katrina. I think I'm playing this out as just a 2-3 to block here.
Got something for him?
Aggro's good when people are playing Vlad. Nah, I think our last opponent's draw would have beaten most things. It's pretty good. You're worrying when the kids will become teens? Well, Haley is 5 years younger than Declan almost. So, we'll have a couple as teenagers for a little bit before all 3 are. I'm more worried about them surviving in the short term than the long term necessarily. Pandemic and all occurring currently.
Listen and learn.
Nice, San. Yeah, Pirate, I think if you asked me to pick the current best deck in Runeterra, I would definitely say Pirate Aggro.
Never will fail.
Everyone's got a secret.
Yes, yeah, these level both of our champions is correct.
We haven't met yet. What brings you here?
It's okay, because Jeff's gonna start his own digital content team when Declan's old enough to stream, because Declan said it's the easiest job. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, actually, Beansy, my kid's school is starting out full, but is starting hybrid learning next week, and we elected to keep our kids virtual because we're able to do that. Yeah, interested to see what case numbers do in my county with the schools going back. This champion spell, transfusion.
I've dressed for the occasion in red.
Nothing like sending everyone back before the holidays plus winter. Yep.
Who gets tossed?
Everyone. Tradesies. I think I'm fine just trading 5 drops here.
Nice to punch you.
Oh, does he not trigger on himself? Other than Vladimir. Wow, that's really bad.
never keep my guests.
Alright, so Vlad plus might kills this at least.
This one's mine. Hello, my darlings.
Yeah, I feel like with the Bilgewater cards being added in this set, the Runeterra team was likely waiting to adjust this card until they see how this current format shakes out. But I really would be surprised if this card, like, unless someone finds something to break him,
For the glory of
I kind of expect this to get patched or up changed around in the next patch or two.
blood for Noxus.
Gaze upon me. Over these centuries.
Clear it out.
I guess we offer this trade. Yes. Yes, you will, Captain Farron. And the winner for most accurate enters play text to Captain. Captain's line of "I'll end this" is very accurate. Nocturne Elise, so probably just like fearsome aggro, which actually probably makes Might an okay card to keep because it lets me jump up one of my things to block a fearsome unit. Can't block, so definitely attacking. Ugh. Anti-vax is, that's a real whole can of worms.
Come closer.
So,
I don't
as someone who took his daughter to get her 4-month vaccinations this morning.
hush now. Let's see what you can do. Look what you dare.
So fearsome is a keyword here that says it can only be blocked by things that have 3+ attacks, so mostly just racing here. Have you ever seen flat earther maps? They're hysterical. I can only imagine.
I'll try anyone once.
think I'm just playing the lizard here, so I can block somebody with it. Kench is an incredibly sweet card. Alright, so we've died.
We could use a bite.
Man, is that a turn 4 kill?
Come here, darling.
That's really strong. Yep. Alright, let's put some Make It Rains in our deck, huh? It's one of the best cards against aggressive decks like that. Not playing that in my Bilgewater deck's probably a mistake. Yeah, Might's been pretty mediocre. Citrus Courier is a clunky bit of top end. Make it rain the tears of a Vlad player. Beep, beep, beep. Honestly, I wonder if Box to Push is better than just some of these transfusions too, because like this is technically cheap interaction, right? Let's start there. Some Make It Rains and some more Box to Pushes to have some interaction at the bottom end of our curve. Is the sub survey case sensitive? It's not case sensitive. I run it through a quick filter for sub names versus people that are subbed on Twitch just to make sure it didn't get linked somewhere else to get the data. Yeah, by the way, the sub survey is out. I forgot to mention at the start of this VOD. If you are currently subscribed to my Twitch channel, the sub survey is posted in the Discord channel. That's going to largely dictate what the mix of my content is moving into November. So if you have feelings about more magic, less magic, more Runeterra, less Runeterra, more variety, less variety, make sure you take a second and fill that out. I appreciate everybody that does. Tryndamere Trundle, so definitely an aggressive deck, or a control deck, sorry. We want an aggressive hand, and this hand's actually pretty good, right? Okay, might actually just keep all these. Really solid curve. So, you are correct, Darian, that Death's Hand is much better than Fervor against aggro decks. That is an accurate statement. However, we're playing Fervor to have more reach for the opponent's dome. Fervor also levels Swain 6, which is nice. We played a Soraka Vlad deck. We have not covered. We aren't in the Discord channel. Is there any way to fill it out? I sent it out via email. There should have been an email that went out Thursday night. Check your spam folder. Sometimes Twitch sends stuff to spam when I send it out. Or Gmail or whatever sends stuff to spam. Whoever that email service is.
So, Babes, have I got one? Oh, my little Priesrek, don't worry about such things.
I'm just gonna take the hit for 4.
Fuse is lit! Hope I didn't need that.
I think I open on attacks here. If I try and play out another lizard, my opponent could, like, avalanche me, and that's not great.
You got a problem?
Opinions on Trundle as well, but yeah, I think Trundle's great. I think Trundle's a very well-designed champion that's super reasonable. I think he slots into a lot of, unlike some champions, Trundle's not really a build-around. Not really a build-around card. He goes into most things reasonably. But I don't think that makes him an inherently bad or busted card.
Fear the power you do not see.
Yeah, Vlad, Trundle is definitely a generic good stuff card. It's a good mid-range / control champion.
Yep, that's my tail. We fight for one Freljord.
You must be Lord Vladimir.
And you must be supper.
Did he just say to her, "You must be supper"? Yeah, you could just leave it blank on her. I think I'm just taking the hit for 9 here. Yeah, definitely, Covern. I think I'm just opening on attacks here, right? Because this will level Vlad. And then we can rally.
This is our homeland.
It's unfortunate, but not the end of the world. At least they don't get to play Pillar this turn.
Kneel before me.
It is good feedback, Rocket, isn't here? So do I want to rally now? Probably not. I think we're probably going to attempt to make it rain next turn and then rally then. So I think we just Lizard plus Crimson Disciple, and then next turn we do this, hope it hits their dome, and then do this.
Blood isn't a toy, dear.
Alright, sweet. We've got 2 chances now.
Can't handle a little cold. You're in my kingdom now.
I guess with Trundle happening, that's actually probably not good to do, right? Because Trundle's gonna kill Vlad, which makes my attacks worse. Do I just boat then? Yeah, I think I just boat here, actually.
Prepare the cargo.
Thanks for taking the time to fill it out, Hansby. Ruinate me. Ruin me, daddy, ruin me. Citrus Courier is the only big orange idiot we like on this channel, chat. All other big orange idiots need not apply.
Our banner will lead the way. Get ready for a beatdown. Return fire!
How marvelous.
Fire!
Okay, and I just pass here, right? Because if they pass, they die to this. Alright, good chat. Good chat. Crimson Disciple. Maybe Lambton. That's true. It does block, the fearsome units. I think there's also merit to what someone commented on earlier about Noxian Fervor versus the other one. Noxian Fervor's a little bit, has more synergy with our champions, though. I don't hate trying more things that block fearsomes, though. Transfusion seems a little mediocre. This card, Demolitionist, is awkward. It's like a 2-drop you don't want to play on 2. The boat is very good. Very, very, very good. This was a submitted deck to start, Innuendo. We still like to make changes as we go, though. I'm mulligan all of these, looking for other things that I can play on turns 1 and turns 2 proactively. 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Hey, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Real decks have curves, chat. They are playing Zed Lee Sin here, so we do need to beat them down before they combo kill us. I think Ledros Dreadway combo is a super reasonable control deck. Hello, him. If you haven't played that before. Pretty sure I'd play Lizard before we attack here.
Remember, you never saw me.
Want to try and get in with him right away. Yeah, Zap's a card that could be on the chopping block for sure. See if they have a Bastion here. It's pretty good. What are some deck building considerations to look out for? Worrying about your curve is still important in Runeterra, coming from Magic. Another thing that's important to consider is the fact that, what's the word that I'm searching for? Your aggressive decks in Runeterra can curve out much higher because you're guaranteed to get a resource every turn. So unlike in Magic where your aggro decks stop low on their curve consistently, and Runeterra going higher on the curve is not unreasonable. Because you're guaranteed to hit those higher resources every game that lasts that long. Alright, they're at 8. Can we burn them out before this Zed kills us? Yeah, that's actually a really good one. The mana cost of spells, in terms of how they fit on your curve, isn't always accurate to the number printed in the corner of them because of how spell mana works in the game. So like a 6 mana spell can be a turn 3 play, for example. Nope, not at all, Garlic Clove. In fact, one of the reasons why I love Runeterra past the gameplay and the gorgeous client is it's the most consumer-friendly card game that's ever been made digitally. There's no predatory loot boxes or random boosters to get cards from. You literally just buy the cards you want directly if you're spending money, and the free-to-play is incredibly generous if you're not spending money.
My skill is unrivaled.
Soon, the months will match my total years. Thanks for the 26 months. Cartage, yeah, I appreciate that. Welcome back. Keeping me around. How much do you say it costs to get a full collection? So, it's probably about $100 to $150 a set to get actual everything. But unlike Magic Arena, where you have to buy a bunch to get what you actually want, being a completionist right away isn't really a good idea, because like you're gonna earn free stuff just as you go. So like if you're someone that doesn't mind putting money into games, I would recommend just you do get more currency the higher you spend, up to $100. So if throwing $100 at something you enjoy isn't a big deal for your budget, put just the $100 in and you'll probably build 4, 5, or 6 decks depending on the champion overlap with $100, and just see what you get in random extra rewards as you play with that first 100. It's probably going to be a lot.
You.
And again, people who are only play Runeterra always are like, $100 is so much, Jeff. But coming from Magic, we talked about my arena spending earlier. As someone who spent north of $4,000 on arena in 3 years, dropping $100 into Runeterra and then having most everything from playing is like, it's not a big deal. All right, let's Croaker here. Sits them for another damage. They're down to 4. You did hear that correctly. I said $4,000. 4000. It's like 4,200 to be precise.
Empire above all. Master your evil.
Oh, I forgot. I forgot about Swain. Swain was leveled. Yeah, I would have stunned this. Oh, I punted real bad. That sequencing was terrible. Thank you for pointing that out. I wouldn't have gotten 2 stuns, but I would have gotten 1 stun. We're gonna die to this next turn. I think we just pass, hoping to draw something. I don't know that we have anything I can draw, though. Drafting is incredibly generous. Drafting is definitely the best way to get cards. Yeah, if we'd have stunned this last turn, we'd have had okay attacks with this at least. And now I have to chump block because this has Overwhelm.
Justify yourself.
We're technically not dead, though we're exactly dead this turn. Right, yeah, exactly dead. It's a close game. Shen Fiora D-Beard is kind of like a big units deck. Shen Fiora or Pirate Aggro would be my recommendations. JW Cape Sir, thanks for the brand new Prime support. I really appreciate that. Welcome to Oglandia. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, Historic devolved very quickly, Garlic. It's refreshing. We had an aggro deck today have an almost ideal curve, and they killed us on turn 4, and I think it was my first time in 4 months of Runeterra that I died on a turn 4 in Runeterra. I think I'm gonna keep Noxian Fervor, actually. This kills Fiora, speaking of. Yeah, I agree, Garlic. Like, it's not even that those things are unbeatable. It's just that the play patterns kind of suck, right? Like, playing the mulligan for sideboard hate cards isn't really interesting or engaging. But we're doing the standard pick bang gauntlet 1-3 decks for bring. I don't know right now. Probably Lux Ash Control for one of them. And then maybe Twisted Diana. Twisted Diana, the deck we have coming up next, is one that I really enjoy and I think is reasonably competitive. Or was reasonably competitive before the last patch. So hopefully we'll find out today if it still feels like it has legs.
Let me show you what I can do.
I keep step with the heartbeat of Noxus.
Tradesies. Yeah, so the 3-deck format that Runeterra is using for its competitive tournaments, you can overlap regions, but you can't overlap champions on those regions.
I long for a worthy opponent.
How's this deck been? A little mediocre. They just passed. Deal. Maybe I'm supposed to Noxian Fervor there proactively while they only have one resource up. I could see that being the case.
Come on, mainline.
Oh yeah, you can't have the exact same 2 regions. Yeah, that's accurate.
Listen and learn.
So that you can have Noxian Bilgewater and Noxian Freljord, but not that's unfortunate. They have a barrier on here, so she doesn't take damage this turn, so I can't kill her with Fervor at the moment.
Why have we never sparred, Fiora?
The outcome was obvious. You must be Lord Vladimir.
And you must be Sabra.
For the honor of House Laurent, try me. My steel is yours. Honor guide me.
Protect House Laurent.
So, if I Demolitionist here, that gives me 4 units of survived damage. Then I can attack with both of these, which lets him level. However, that lets Garen level as well. That's probably fine though, right? I could also go Crimson Curator into Demolitionist, generate value with this. Like, they're at 16, that's probably better. I'd probably rather generate a random Crimson unit than deal an extra damage to them if they're going to be at 14. I think we want to play for a little bit longer game here. Phasmophobia. That is not a game. That's not a game I've ever even heard of. Well, that's super unfortunate. I guess it's not too bad. So I get to do this. And then... Actually, I think I attack with everything, right? Because Vlad's gonna level on his trigger. So if they block here, they trade, and then they take 9. Oh. I'm not really big on horror jump scare games.
Fear is the first of many foes. Hold fast.
It's like a thriller. Okay. Yeah, I don't mind like Halloween themed things. Jump scare games specifically. I'm not super
I
into.
stand ready.
It's a get a few friends to play type game. Okay. God bless Quaddle. Thanks for continuing to clean out commands.
Kneel before me.
Alright, my opponent's down to 2 here, which means this has a coin flip of drawing a spell that kills them. This either draws Make It Rain or Noxian Fervor. Or we could just draw that.
Wield such a clumsy weapon.
With justice and honor.
If they don't break, they'll burn.
So targeting this is worse against single combat. It's better against concerted strike though. Yeah, Vlad was like genuinely good this game for the record. Okay, sweet. And they had strike, so that plays around that a little bit, which is nice.
Charge!
On guard.
Awesome, Talrand. Hope everything goes well for her. I know it can be stressful having a child during the pandemic and all. Small children are fun though.
Too easy.
Keep up.
There's the fervor. So we get to start by opening attacks here, right?
Let's do this.
Bottoms up.
So this is lethal, this is lethal, this is lethal.
Is the first of
We have
many
them dead a
foes.
couple different ways here. Judgment me, Daddy. Judgment me! Judge me, Daddy Garen. They're playing Whirling Death. That's cute. Alright, don't single combat me. They have the single combat chat. Oh no! Oh no! Oh! Well, missed it by this much. Poor Vlad. Vlad was like, I finally get my day in the sun. I get to do the thing and look impressive and reasonable. And then all of his dreams were torn away. Ooh, entreat Fiora. This is actually probably really good right now. Fiora actually seems really good against the various Kench decks that are going around, and Flash Freeze is excellent at the moment. I'm gonna mulligan these expensive cards. I keep Fervor because it kills Fiora, actually. Yeah, the alt win con animations are stellar. 3 Fiora and 37 spells. Usually they have some units. Ooh, that's a good thought. If I would have targeted one of my smaller units, the Fiora wouldn't have been able to win the game that turn.
Who's gonna get in my way?
The Fiora only had 2 toughness, chat, so the Fiora couldn't single combat it. I agree that we likely still would have lost, but that would have been the better line.
Strength in grace, beauty in the blade.
Alright, don't Rangers resolve me, bro.
Noxus lives on.
I will cut you down.
Oh, Belly. It's funny because it's true.
Everyone bleeds for the right price.
Hey, thanks for the 18 months, good nuts. I appreciate the tier 3. I also fully understand if people drop or downgrade subs without magic stuff. Like, y'all should go in the direction of the content that you enjoy, and I plan to do the same. I don't think I want to attack here. I think I'm just passing.
For the honor of trying me.
Barrier, please. Frostbite. Yikes. I was hoping it was a barrier so we could break it with Make It Rain.
The few for the many.
Nothing to hold me back.
That card is really good in their archetype.
Just pretend I'm not here, eh?
Hey, Brian, thanks for the 52 months. Welcome back. I appreciate it. Yeah, there's probably a lot of commands in there that are of old clips that have since been deleted, if I had to venture to guess.
Oh, I can't wait.
Obtaining Shillionaire takes like a year plus of watching regularly.
I never hold. On guard.
Hey, Baldak, thank you for the absurdly generous tier 3 and for the 20 months. I appreciate it. Welcome back. The Shillionaire do anything. It gets you a special Discord role, and it lets you submit a deck at 100 points.
Two down.
Yeah, this matchup does not seem good.
So, man,
They are at 12, I suppose.
Oh, my little prisoner, don't worry about such things.
You must be Lord Vladimir.
And you must be supper.
nope, I didn't need that.
That could be key to stealing this game.
Pablo's been down, but his knee out. Ah, I told your ancestors to protect.
You get Shillionaire for free. Yeah, subs acquire shillings at a little bit faster rate.
Oh, you wee scrub.
Alright, judgment me, daddy. Judgment me, mama. Mama just killed my board. Use a judgment sword. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Are we gonna do it? Are we gonna punk 'em, chat? Please be dead. Please be dead. Ah! Ah! Yeah, tier 3 and tier 2 go a little faster than tier 1. Fiora is a big giant bully.
never try me.
Oh, this hurts.
Never officially associated with Star City Games, Jolly Ox, but the thing that got me my jump into competitive card gaming was I played on the SCG Tour events a number of times, yes. I top 8'd 2 of their invitational tournaments, like 16 of their Open Series events, played in a couple of their Players Championship tournaments. Spent a lot of time trekking around the country to do that. Let's try another one. I feel like we've had two really close matches in a row. I also largely did that while playing off the beaten path / bad brews. So I was frequently on camera when I was doing well in their tournaments because I was almost never playing an established archetype. It does, Baldak. Can you do me a flavor and fill out this form and just put there's an option that it's for your tier 3 sub for October. That just helps me stay organized. I appreciate it. Wow, rude.
Let me show you what I can do.
Off the beaten path is a funny way to say bad deck. Is that like saying my deck is hard to pilot? It
Got
is.
a taste of the action.
It is. I play card games to attempt to feel smart, Lambton, and there's no smarter feeling than beating someone with a pile of cards that's much worse than theirs.
I don't change fate. I can see it.
Praise be to the uncastable meatball indeed. I was gonna pick up. I have a real Kiki Jiki somewhere. Normally it sits on this table, but Christy cleaned my office over the weekend, and she moved my physical magic cards somewhere. I'll have to ask her where they went.
Remember the objectives.
Yeah, I agree, Frigsley. I think Vlad probably needs some help still. But the deck's got a neat core idea going on at least. I think we just do this. Sure, Garrett. We're on the front page. That's sweet. Runeterra, in my opinion, has the best core rules engine of any card game I've ever played. And I say that as someone who spent literal decades playing Magic and has played most other digital card games in some capacity. As someone who spent 3 to 4 figures in dollars on Hearthstone, Mythgard, and Magic Arena, and all the other various card games out there at some point, I think Runeterra has the best score. And they've paired that really good core card game experience with really good management on Riot's part and clear communication with their player base. They're doing a lot of things right in the management area as well. Chris, thanks for the 22 months. You know, I used to really miss Hex, D. Brian, but honestly, I think from before Runeterra, I think I would have listed Hex with a lot of the things I just said, but I genuinely think Runeterra does most things better than Hex did. Yeah, the quality of the software is also stellar. Big agree on that. I think I just let this happen and then play Box to push out as a blocker. It might be right to kill Zap. I don't know. I don't really want to spend this card just yet. This could be reach for their face at some point. I think I like letting this happen, and then we play this so we can trade with the 3/3.
Let's do this.
This is elusive, so we can't block it. Runeterra really strikes a really fantastic balance between, what's the word I'm searching for? It strikes a good balance between constantly having to respond to everything like Magic and only playing on your own turn like Hearthstone. It feels, the middle ground they have between those two things feels like something special.
We live here.
Alright, with this play, I think I'm gonna go ahead and kill their 3/3 here. That's a great way to put it, Lambton. Hex fixed a lot of things I thought Magic did badly. Runeterra fixed things about Magic I didn't know were wrong. Yeah, there are things that, like, you don't even think about until you're just like, oh, Runeterra doesn't do that. And you're like, oh, that's a really good thing to change.
Empire above all.
Is my Vlad leveled yet?
By my hand. Will not
God, he's still not leveled. That's such a tilt.
victory awaits.
Guess we just do this and bump uglies here. That's true. If they attack, we will level Vlad.
Leave them nothing.
Yeah, I thought the Warhammer card game was really good too, Propa. I streamed that for a little bit, and I have a bunch of their physical cards. The Warhammer card game was more, and I don't say this as a bad thing, the Warhammer card game, though, was more unique in terms of game design than Runeterra is, though. Like, Runeterra does a lot of things that are similar in a good way to Magic without doing the bad things, the things I don't like. Whereas, like, Warhammer felt like a bit more of a unique system overall. That's a great draw.
My legacy.
Yeah, it hits on a lot of the things that I enjoy from Magic while cutting away the crap.
Fair game. We're playing
Wonder if they have a Make It Rain left over
in
here.
their tracks.
Such little lives.
I'm Lord and Master.
I'd never keep my guests waiting.
If you liked, you mentioned who's that mentioned the Warhammer card game? You should check out, I did a sponsored segment for a game called Fatal Core. That's an indie card game that they asked me to do a couple more sponsored things for them. It's kind of reminds me of the Warhammer card game in a lot of ways, that the gameplay is super unique.
You're bluffing.
They have a Ravenous Flock here as well. Artifact was supposed to have $1 million tournament last year, and by $1 million tournament, I mean they were supposed to have $1 million first place prize plus extra prizes past the $1 million first place prize. And yeah, Valve just straight up lied to us about that. Yeah, so the design of champions in Runeterra, I think, is actually a big part of what makes the gameplay so engaging. In that the champions in Runeterra are one of the things that make Runeterra such a satisfying game to play, even when you lose on occasion. Like, losing isn't always fun, obviously, but I feel like I more often have fun when I lose in Runeterra than any other card game, in large part because of how champions work. Because champions in Runeterra give you a goal to achieve with your deck, and it feels like, okay, I can do this thing, and if I get to do this thing with my champion, my deck worked, and it was awesome that my deck worked even if I didn't win the game. Like, I got to execute my plan, even if it didn't ultimately come together. I think building around specific cards or ideas or a subset of cards is one of the sweetest things to do in card games, and champions are a very elegant game design way to build around certain things. First to a boat wins. Yes, probably. First one to a Leviathan's likely to win.
So you know how Pokemon card game is like based off the TV show?
Sure.
The Yu-Gi-Oh card game is like the
show is the card.
Is them playing a card game.
Chat, don't hate my wife. She doesn't understand. She doesn't realize.
Like, it's a cartoon of two people playing cards.
Yes, didn't realize that. They played Duel Monsters. The other day, I love my wife, and I say this with all the possible love in the world, but the other day, Jacob was watching Pokemon, and the Poke Rap came on at the end, and Christy was like, oh, they sing a song with all the names of the Pokemon at the end? That's really cool. And my heart just sunk, chat. I had never questioned so many of my life choices at the same time. It is serious stuff. The Poke Rap is the reason why many millennials have a part of their brain dedicated to the names of Pokemon. Electro, Diglett, Nidoran, Mankey. Alright, I think we're just doming them for 3 here, right?
It's like, I've got my blue-eyes white dragon. Which I recognize because the boys always talk about white dragon.
Success gets you noticed around here.
Deploying!
Oh no! Well, we lost the first Leviathan race, chat.
He licked his lips, whoever.
Positions!
Time to make some coin.
We do have a higher life total, so like maybe we could draw our own boat this turn and be okay, but we need a boat this turn. Need a copy Leviathan here.
I've dressed for the occasion in red.
Keep up, keep up. Through the coral.
Let it flow.
Not my first gunfight. You can't do this.
And this is likely a piece of direct damage, right?
Sybil dropped something in your office clean so far?
I have. Do you know where you put my answer cards, by the way, in my shuffling sleeves? Yeah, there's a
closet in your office. Why would they be in literally any other closet?
Well, I forgot that my office had a closet, okay? I don't go in there very often.
Do you need
Fear the power. Do not
No, I don't need it right now. Okay. Sometimes we reminisce about Kiki Cord, and I have my Kiki Cord cards in there. So, conclusions about this. The Krusty Krodger, Boxtopus, Croaker, these cards do what I expected them to do, and they made leveling Swain way more reasonable and fast and consistent. That being said, or Vladimir, I mean, that being said, Vlad's leveled mode, it just doesn't, I don't know what exactly I want this to do when it levels, but it's just not enough. I don't know, honestly, maybe getting rid of the other on this card would be enough to start, like, just let him count himself. Yeah, I don't know, I honestly wouldn't be opposed to the card just getting a full rework. I agree with that, Glacier. I think if they just, like, gutted his design and redesigned him, that wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing. They could also, like, do the Lee Sin route and just change numbers. Like, you could just subtract a 1 from everything on his text box, and he's probably better. Like, 4, 5, 4, 4, 4, 5, 5. Yeah, he hurts your board and doesn't do enough for the hurt that he inflicts. Sure, not that number, chat. Come on now. Yeah, I think it was reasonable that they waited to buff this card to see how it was going to be impacted by these Bilgewater cards they knew were coming. Because I think these cards coming in are almost assuredly the reason why we haven't seen communication on Vlad. Because they knew these were in the pipeline and these synergize well with him. And obviously, this deck was far from optimized. We only played for about an hour with it. But I would be surprised, even if someone spent a bunch of time on this, if Vlad ended up being super competitive and playable with the current range of what he does. All right, we're doing an extra deck today. Normally I do 2 Runeterra decks every day, but with the new set just dropping, there's extra things I want to get through. So we're going to shift gears. We're going to do one more Runeterra deck before we call